What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So, I've been a little absent lately. About 90 days to be exact. Had a 30-day TDY out to Texas for the military. That was pretty fun. Went to some junkyards, found some stuff for the Prelude. Nothing major, nothing really significant to record and document. So I decided I would finally come out here and I would get something accomplished. So, with that said, I came out today, got the coilovers that came off of the donor card that you saw in the previous videos, the green one, and I got those cleaned up and hosed down. Now, as I said in the past, I don't remember if I actually made it specifically known, but these things have seen better days. The dust boots are broke, a lot of the collars are broken and just ground to crap. I don't know what they did to them, but all that stuff needs replaced. So what I decided I was going to do today, before I start working on the engine itself, is I'm going to rebuild the coilovers with the coilover kit components that I received from Raceland in the mail. Let me go ahead and show you what that is. So I called Raceland and I let them know the situation. You know, I got the stoner car, had your coilovers on it. They were beat to shit. What can you do for me? Whatever. They asked me everything that I needed to replace. Oh, drop that. And I told them, and they looked it up, told me they had all the parts in stock, and they charged me, I believe it was like $65 to get all the pieces that I needed. So that was a pretty good deal for, I mean, I thought at least. It got me the dust boots. I have 4. The other one fell on the ground. It got me all the replacement collars to replace all the janky ones from the bottom on the rotation nut, and they sent me some actual keys to adjust and lower the coilover, so that way I'm not using a wrench or a pipe wrench and screwing them up like the previous owner did. So I have all this stuff here. I'm going to go one by one, taking the coilovers apart, replacing the collars and all the dust boots and the bushings, and then once that's done, I'll set them back over on the shelf and move on to the big item, which is compression testing this engine, seeing how screwed I am, and going from there. Alrighty, new day. So, quick as possible. Here are the OEM fog lights I got off Facebook Marketplace. I paid about $20 to $30 for them. I can't exactly remember. But I got the lens and housing resealed with new butyl sealant. Got them reassembled with the Port 15 coated frame brackets and the new hardware reinstalled. So these are ready to go on the car once I get the bumper situation figured out. Here are the Port 15 coated lower forks put back on the front coilovers. And with all 4 side by side, they look really good now considering what they were looking like when I pulled them off the car. And at a later date, these will go back on the car after I do some suspension changes. That's for a later video though. Alright, so with the motor, it's already out of the car, so not rebuilding would be a stupid move on my part. But before I go into the depth of rebuilding it, I want to at least compression test it and see what I have to start with and how far in depth I really need to go in this rebuild prior to actually opening it up and taking a look. A couple things I did before I even bought the compression tester. I know the transmission shifted smoothly and didn't have any catches or anything, so I identified the reverse switch was broke. I replaced that. I identified the leaking slave cylinder, so I replaced that and installed the Valix Racing braided clutch line that's also in the car already as well. So that looks really good and works nice. For the compression testing itself, since the motor's out of the car, I did buy some Marvel Mystery Oil. You see it up there. I'll coat the cylinders in that. I have the battery sitting on a mat hooked to a jump starter, then hooked to additional cables that are grounded that I'll use the positive side to clamp and touch both positive terminals on the starter itself. I'll verify that every cylinder is in the upright position before I compression test, and I will use the Maddox compression tester set that I got from Harbor Freight to do that. The kit comes with a bunch of stuff in it, but the only things I needed are the actual compression tester with the extended line and the adapter fitting to mimic the thread pitch on the spark plugs. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera up, and we'll compression test each cylinder, and I'll show you what the results are, and then we'll talk about steps in proceeding next. Given the results of that compression test, when the previous owner said this engine ran, I think he left out the words "like shit" from the end of that statement. There's definitely no way this engine ran well. If you happen to skip through and you didn't watch the whole video, first cylinder came out to between 140 and 150. Second cylinder was around 185 to 190. Again, 185 to 190. And I believe this one was closer to 200. I may have swapped those. If you want to go back and verify, you can. But more or less, these three cylinders were somewhat within spec of each other. This one, way off. And I expected as much when I pulled this rusty spark plug out of that cylinder. I figured I was in for trouble. I've heard that if you have low compression on a cylinder, you can take the valve cover off, adjust the timing in that cylinder, and lightly try to bring it up some. But since all four are under 200, and my goal is to have it equal at 200 or better, I'm not going to waste my time doing that. I'm just going to start disassembly and tearing into it and go from there. So before I close this video out, I do want to show you, I bought a $110 replica bumper off of eBay, the kind that gets folded up in a box when it arrives, and after 2 or 3 days of sitting out in the sun, it came right back to normal size and lines up really well and fits really good. I got new clear indicators and I got the fog lights put in. I'll get the fog lights sanded down and re-cleared to brighten those back up. And I picked up some Accord signals and also a set of clear signals, all from Junkyard Cars, to see which one I like best. So if you have a preference, if you like either one better than the other, drop in the comments, let me know. So with that said, that's all I got for this one. If you came here for the Prelude content, hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you've subscribed and you've liked the videos, and that you are sharing your feedback and thoughts. That said, again, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see all of you again on the next one.